Assalamualaikum everyone, I hope you all are doing well, and today I'm here to talk about protection, support and movement in animals. Guys, it's such an interesting topic, so let's get started without wasting a time. Protection, integumentary system. Let me tell you what is an integument. Integument is an external covering of animal. It refers to the skin, cuticle and membrane of organism. Protect the animal from mechanical and chemical injury. Basically, integument is a natural covering of organism or an organ such as its skin, husk, cell or rind. Okay. So first of all, let us talk about integumentary system of invertebrates. What is an integumentary system of an invertebrate animals? Okay. Integumentary system of invertebrates, snails, slugs, oysters are protected by a hard shell made up of calcium carbonate secreted by the mantle, a heavy fold of tissue that surround the mollusks and internal organisms. एक कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट का एक heaviest secreted mantle है जो secrete करता है, जिसको cover कर रहा होता है shell को for the sake of protection. Spider, insect, lobsters and shrimps have bodies covered by external skeleton. External skeleton से covered होती हैं. Exoskeleton की बात करते हैं तो that is stronger, impermeable and allows some arthropods to live on land. Strong है, impermeable है और कुछ animals को, arthropods को specially allow करता है, they can live on land. What is plasma membrane? Plasma membrane, we all are familiar with plasma membrane structure, and let's talk about structure and chemically identical to the plasma membrane of multicellular organisms. This is used for the protective covering of some single cell protozoa. Protozoa की covering के लिए इस्तेमाल होता है somehow. Okay. Then let's move towards structure of paramecium. Structure of paramecium is, we also familiar with this, but let's a major portion of this structure, that is pellicle. Pellicle offer further environmental protection and its semi-rigid structure that transmit the force of cilia or flagella to the entire body of protozoan as it moves. Protective covering of some protozoa. This is a protective covering of some protozoa. A structural movement में protozoa की movement में help कर रहा है पैरामीशियम का स्ट्रक्चर और कुछ प्रोटेक्टिव कवरिंग के तौर पे काम करेगा. ओके. फिर आता है एपिडर्मिस एंड डिफरेंस. सो लेट्स डिस्कस अबाउट एपिडर्मिस एंड टेगुमेंट डिफरेंस. ठीक. Epidermis rests on the basement membrane, outermost layer of epithelial tissue, and is one of the several thick integument and outer layer of various invertebrate. Integument है, outer layer है, covering के तौर पे काम करती है, protection के तौर पे काम करती है. And if we talk about tegument, what is tegument? ठीक. Tegument is an outer cover of parasitic fluke and tapeworm. This is specific to parasitic flukes and tapeworm. Okay. Now let's move towards integumentary system vertebrates. First, we discussed about integumentary system of invertebrates animals. Now we are talking about integumentary system of vertebrates. First, let's talk about skin. Skin have three different layers: dermis, epidermis and hypodermis. The outer protective non-muscular layer of skin, it covered dermis, consists of basal layer of actively divided cell, and then dermis made up of connective tissues, cells and elastic fibers. Beneath the epidermis, it is thicker than the epidermis. Dense and fibrous. Structure इसका dense और fibrous है, but it is thicker than epidermis because that is after epidermis, so it has structural change that is more thicker than epidermis. Now last, below the skin consists of loose connective tissue. Adipose tissue nerve endings separate the skin from deeper tissue. Below the skin है, last part है, deeper side पे present है और आपकी बाकी body tissue से separation के तौर पे काम करता है. Here you can see in the structure three different parts: epidermis, dermis and dermis. Layers of skin. Skins of jawless fish. Jawless fishes, they have a relatively thicker skin, slim protective animal from external parasite, multicellular slim gland in their skin and secrete large amount of mucus covered to the body surface for protection. And the example of skin of jawless fishes, we can see lamprey and hagfishes as shown fig. Okay, skin of cartilaginous fishes so multi-layered and contain mucus and sensory cell. As cartilaginous fishes grow throughout the life, so the skin area also increases as they in their growth is continuous throughout the life, so their skin is also increase day by day, time by time, you can say. Okay, you can see in the picture as well. फिर okay, denticles क्या हैं? Denticles are bones in the form of palacoid scales found in the dermis, contain blood vessels and nerves and are similar to vertebrate teeth. One denticle reach maturity, they do not grow thus continuously, wear down and are lost. Denticle give cartilaginous fishes a sandpaper texture. Cartilaginous fishes को देता है एक sandpaper का texture है. Example में denticles में example में देख सकते हैं sharks, cats and rays. They have cartilaginous skins and some bony palacoid scales on their body. Then we have skin of birds. Okay, epidermis is usually thin and only 2 or 3 layer thick. Thin skinned epidermis उनकी thin होती है. We can say it's a thin skinned animal. Outer keratinized layer is often quite soft. Outer layer, it's quite soft. The most prominent part of epidermis are the feathers provide insulation trapping pocket of air to help birds conserve their body heat. Their varied color, pattern, texture and shape of the feather help birds to signal their animals, sex and social status and special identity to their one and other. Then skins of mammals. Skins of mammal, notable feature of mammal skin such as given below here, a greater variety of epidermis gland than in another vertebrate class. A highly satisfied confined epidermis, a dermis made time thicker than epidermis. The skin of mammal is constructed of 2 layers, a superficial non-vascular epidermis and the inner layer is dermis. 2 layers हैं, superficial non-vascular epidermis and the inner layer is dermis. And in the picture you can see the different mammals. Okay. Now let's move toward nails. Nails, like hairs, they are also modification of epidermis. They are flat, horny plates on the dorsal surface of the distal segment of the digit. For example, fingers and toes of primates. Other mammals have 2 claws and hooves. Other keratinized derivatives of mammals' skin are horns and balance plates of the toothless whales. Okay. And next is support skeleton system. There are 3 kinds of skeleton. We have 3 different kinds of skeleton. We can see in the picture as well: hydrostatic, exoskeleton and endoskeleton. Skeleton of fish, we can see there we have difference in skeleton of fish, pelvic girdle, upper lower jaw and some structural differences in the skeleton of fishes. Skeleton of tetrapod, endoskeleton become modified for support on land. There they have a modification that is endoskeleton support on land. उनके support करता है land पे movement के लिए. Human endoskeleton, it has 2 major parts: axial skeleton made up of skull, vertebrate column and sternum ribs. Appendicular skeleton है composed of the appendages, pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. You can say appendicular and axial skeleton see the difference in structure. Movements in animals. Last part of our topic, that is movement in animals. Firstly, let us talk about non-muscular movement in animal. It is form of basic frame of the cell that specialized contractile mechanism emerged. Non-muscular and muscular movements है. Non-muscular basically हमारे पास होती है that is not dependent on muscles, little but not attached, and attached to end endoskeleton to form motor system and allow complex movement is called muscular movement. Then we have muscular system of invertebrates. Muscular cells of invertebrates can divide it into three major classes on the basis of their striation pattern: transversely striated, obligate striated, and smooth muscle. Smooth muscle has been reported in the colonies, annelids, and mollusk, branchioids, etc. but is lacking in arthropod. Arthropod में ये lack करते हैं. Muscular system of vertebrates. First we discuss about invertebrates. Now let us talk about vertebrates. The muscular system in biological system of human that produce movement. Muscular system in invertebrate is controlled through the nervous system, although some muscles are cardiac muscle can be completely autonomous. An introduction to animal muscle. General introduction. Let's talk muscle fiber or cell. Meat is mostly muscle tissue of an animal. Most animal muscle is roughly 75% water, 20% protein, 5% fat and carbohydrates and associated protein. Muscles are made up of bundles of cells called fibrous. Each cell is creamed with a filamentous made up of protein, actin and myosin. Two different type of protein hai, actin and myosin. Then muscle in animals. Animals is soft tissue that composed up of muscles in animal body and give rise to muscle ability to contract. This is opposed to the other component or tissues is muscle such as tendons or perimecium. It is formed during embryonic development through a process known as myogenesis. Let's talk types of muscle. In the muscular system, muscle tissues is categorized into three distinct types: skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, smooth muscle. We can see these in skeleton, smooth and cardiac muscle in pictures. Each type of muscle tissue is human body has unique structure and a specific role. Skeletal muscle move bones and other structure. Cardiac muscle contract the heart and to pump the blood, etc. So at the end you can meet your speaker. My name is Neha Ijaz and I am here from BS Zoology final year. Okay friends, Allah Hafiz.